Joining me now from our bureau in New York City, New York correspondent for the Federalist, David Marcus. David, thank you so much for joining us. David, I will say the Democrats are really good at sticking together for issues that they care about, but there's obviously a huge divide within the party, and we've also seen a loss of seats in the House, and now they're soul-searching, trying to figure out what's going on, and they're both blaming each side.
Yeah, I mean, first of all, it's absolutely laughable that the Congresswoman believes that the corporate media is somehow conspiring to undermine the Democratic Party. That's a pretty silly notion, but yeah, I mean, obviously, we've seen the leaked tapes of the conversations that happened just after the election. One of the best examples in the country was right here in New York City, where Max Rose, who is the poster child of the moderate Democrats. He's a combat veteran. He's exactly who the centrist Democrats want to have front and center. He didn't just lose, he got destroyed by Nicole Maliotakis, who is now one of the young GOP women who's going to come in and try to create the anti-squad, right? So, yeah, these progressives hurt more moderate Democrats really badly and hurt Nancy Pelosi.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, House Speaker Nancy Pelosi is asking House Democrats to not consider a Biden administration because they don't want to lose any more seats. Your thoughts on that?
Well, I mean, I bet she is because, listen, she's got a problem. She lost so many seats that at this point, the number of people on the squad and who are sort of part of that group is about the same as the number of votes that she can afford to lose among Democrats in a House vote, which means she would have to start reaching out to Republicans. This becomes a big mess for her if she's even able to maintain her speakership, because the progressives in the House, they are fire throwers. I mean, they will happily burn everything down, and I think Pelosi knows that. So this is a very difficult position for her.
And many are wondering what the future of House Speaker Nancy Pelosi will be. A lot of people say, well, the Democrats, they'll probably be too afraid to challenge her. But we're starting to see more Democrats coming out, including another Democratic congresswoman who's taking aim at her, saying that they need new leadership. So I think it takes a couple to start this conversation, and then others will start joining.
I mean, I think that's right, but the question is, in what direction would you go? I mean, 10 years ago, Nancy Pelosi was more or less the far left of the Democratic Party. She's a centrist now. That's how far they've gone in the direction of abject insanity and craziness. So when their big agenda is we're going to cancel everybody's student debt, I mean, that's not a mainstream position. So even if it's not Pelosi, who's it going to be? You're going to make AOC Speaker? I don't know what they do.
Yeah. And all eyes are on the Senate runoffs in Georgia, and this is really going to determine the direction of our country, no matter who ends up being the president of the United States. Democrats are going to fight tooth and nail for this seat, and they've made it very clear. And we've heard folks like Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez who say they're going to put a lot of effort in that state. Do you think Republicans are fighting hard enough and realize what's at stake here?
Oh, I absolutely think that Republicans are fighting hard enough and that they know exactly what's at stake. I don't know that having progressives run down from Brooklyn and Queens to Georgia is really the best idea for the Democrats. In fact, I tend to think it's probably not. There's that old term, carpetbagger. I think the Democrats are in some trouble, especially Warnock in his race, because he's such a radical leftist, and I don't think the voters of Georgia fully understood that the first time around. You can bet your bottom dollar that there are going to be a lot of dollars spent making sure that everyone in Georgia knows just exactly how radical that man really is.
Yeah, I wonder how much they're actually going to spend on it. And you think of some of the races that they spent over like $100 million against Lindsey Graham, Senator Lindsey Graham, and that was pretty incredible. So I'm sure we'll see the money start pouring in. I heard some Democrats and talking heads suggest that people should move to Georgia so they can vote in this election, which is pretty crazy. It's kind of like voter fraudish, if you will. Anyways, well, we'll be keeping a close eye on that, and we appreciate your time. Thank you.
Thank you.